Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 ideas from The One Thing by Gary Keller. And this is a book that focuses on the idea that by just focusing on one thing, we can achieve extraordinary results. So I've been reading this book, and I have to say, it's packed with some great ideas. So let's get started. Number one is the focusing question. The first idea is this focusing question on what is the one thing I can do that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary. And by answering this question, we can identify the most important task that will have the greatest impact on our goals. It's kind of like juggling, right? So you have all these balls in the air that you're trying to keep them all up. But what if you could just focus on just one ball, the most important one, and then let the other balls drop? That's what the focusing question is all about. So the second idea is the domino effect. And this idea is based on the concept that small, consistent actions can lead to significant results, right? This is also called like the butterfly effect, or it's similar to that. And the key is to identify one thing that will set off the chain reaction of positive outcomes. And this is very similar to the one question, right? We're focusing on this one idea that will lead to compounding effect and will allow us to achieve results and success. So we could think of this like if we're setting up a domino chain, right? You set up one domino and then another until you have a chain of dominoes. And if you tip the first one over, it sets into effect tipping of all of the dominoes and a chain reaction. So that's what the domino effect is all about and how we can use it. So the third is time blocking. Now, this third idea is the idea of scheduling our time on our calendar to work on our most important task, right? We've seen this in other books, and a lot of productivity and time management books will talk about this. But by blocking off specific time slots, and that is key and imperative, we want to make specific times with specific tasks. That way, we can eliminate distractions and know what we have to focus on when. And it's kind of like a giant hourglass, right? So you flip that hourglass and then you can focus on that time, right? So we're thinking about it as specific times for specific actions, and we can plan that out and help us to achieve that one thing and to work on our priority task. Number 4 is goal setting. And the idea in this involves setting specific, measurable goals that are aligned with our one thing. So, by setting goals, we can focus on what's most important priority. So, you can ensure that you stay on track and make progress towards achieving your ultimate objective by setting these goals and making sure that you stay on task. So, all of these go hand in hand with each other, and they're kind of compounding on each other and all working in coherence. But if we think about the goal setting, right, it's like if we were trying to run a marathon. So we have that clear finish line in sight, and we know exactly what we need to do to get there, right? So we can create practice goals and specific measurable goals during our training. That way, we can track our progress and ensure that we're making steady progress towards that objective of running a marathon. The fifth idea is success habits. And this is the final idea of the book, which involves developing habits that support our one thing. So, by developing these habits, we can align with our most important priority, and we can make sure that we're putting habits and routines in place that will enable us to achieve this goal, right? So, one example would be if we're studying for an exam, we can set up the habit of studying for an hour every day. And this is going to enable us to create progress every single day. But then once we combine it with our other ideas from this book, we have a successful routine where we're putting habits in place and focusing on specific actions that will enable us to do well on that test and future tests. But it's also, if you think about it, like brushing your teeth, right? Brushing our teeth is something we don't have to think about. It's just a habit that we've ingrained since we were a child, or at least we've hopefully ingrained since we were a child, where we just wake up and before we go to sleep, we brush our teeth, and it helps keep our hygiene up. And it's one of the successful habits. And we can create more and more habits like this. And in this book, creating habits that focus on that one thing. So there you have it. Those are the top 5 ideas from the book The One Thing by Gary Keller. Now, by just focusing on just one thing, using the focus question, the domino effect, time blocking, goal setting, and developing success habits, we can achieve extraordinary results. So, thanks for joining me on this video of the top 5 ideas from The One Thing by Gary Keller, and I'll see you in the next video.